Hi, I'm Todd and welcome to another Acme Machining. Today we're going to do part 2 of the mounting the trucks up. Last week I did my 4-jaw chuck on my rotary table here. It worked out good. Ran into a few problems with the camera. I found out what's going on with my camera and I'm going to try to keep track of it. My camera will only record for 10 minutes and then it just shuts off. No beep, no nothing, just bang, it's done. And so I'm going to set myself a minute timer for 9.5 minutes, so I know I got to do a reset for you guys. I lost a bunch of footage on the last one and I'm sorry for that. So please bear with me and we'll continue with getting this one set up. So, but one thing I want to do first is I've been chatting with some other YouTubers and we've been trading off some stickers. So I'm going to pause right now and take you over to my cabinet where I'm going to use as a sticker board. So, here on our stickers, we've got Mark Presley. He's from Australia. He goes by the name of Prezzo. And He's got a whole lot of stuff. He's a very smart guy. He reminds me of a shop teacher that I had when I was in my younger years. And very knowledgeable. Takes on some real neat projects. Works through them, explains them. Real good guy. Check out his site. Mark Presley. Prezzo. He's also sent a sticker here of a friend of his. And it's Zimber Zelik. Hope I pronounced that right, Zimber. And the neat thing I found with Zimber sticker here is it says student machinist. And he mentions it on his site. And one thing I look at is I look at the definition of a student as somebody that's in the learning process, learning a trade. And you know what? We're all students. If we're not, give it up. Okay? If you're not learning something new, you're done. Okay? You're just stuck in a rut. So for somebody to say that he's a student machinist, I think we're all student machinists. Like, we're watching these YouTube videos, learning from each other, and it's just YouTube's a new school for us. So I've got Maddie's workshop here. Maddie's also over in Australia. I contacted a bunch of people from Australia. Figured I'd go halfway around the world and then work my way back. Maddie's got a nice little home shop. Another very smart machinist. Does some great things. So check them out there. Maddie Johnson, Maddie's workshop. We've got Adam Booth. Adam Booth. A-Bomb 79. Everybody knows A-Bomb. He's been doing videos since they invented the video camera. Like, he's really, really smart. He's an encyclopedia of machining. I think if you looked up machinist in the dictionary, you'd say, see Adam Booth. So check out Adam's site. He's a great one. Teach you lots. I've got young Everett here. He's from Spruce Grove. He's about 3 hours away from me. So I've gone from halfway around the world to 3 hours away. Everett's been a mechanic. I think he started out working at Chrysler. And now he's working on heavy diesels. And hey, you come across a lot of stuff that parts don't fit or needs to be adjusted, so he brings them home and does the adjustments, makes them fit. Smart young guy. So, and then I've got Max Grant here. Max retired from the trucking industry. He's built himself a brand new shop. He's currently in the moving process. Beautiful shop, a whole bunch of equipment. I'm sure we're going to see a whole lot of stuff out of him. We have seen a whole lot of stuff out of him, but I can just imagine what he's going to come up with when he's got more time on his hands. So check him out, Swan Valley Machine Shop, Max Grant. They're a great bunch of guys. They appreciate your subscription, like all of us do, so please subscribe to check them out and subscribe to their sites. And if you haven't subscribed to mine, please click that subscribe button. It means a lot to all of us. And we'll carry on. Thank you. Okay, so a few things got to keep track of is this chuck. We can't drill anywhere around here because we have our pinions. Okay, so here and back here we have our 3 pinions because it's a scroll truck. Okay, there's also a parting line that's right here. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on the video, but I can see it. And there are screws holding the bottom to the top, and they'll be here and all different spots. So what I came up with is I'm going to come right down through the chuck dog slot. I'm going to even it up so I'm in the middle there, and I am going to come down through with my shouldering tool that I used last time. I'm going to do things a little bit different. When I come down through my shouldering tool, and I want to do this first because this here is just going to touch. So I'm going to use this to center myself up. Okay, I've got about 700 thousandths of material. It's actually reading 6.99. So I'm going to come in here about the 350 mark, and I'm going to come down there, and when I take my hex head bolts, I'm going to throw them in the lathe and I'm going to turn them down so they'll fit in this diameter. Okay, because I don't want to make this too big and sloppy because you've got a precision jaw that runs in there. So I'm just going to be touching the edges of that, and then I'm going to come down through that and start drilling my hole for my 5/16 bolt. So I'm going to do, and another thing too is on a scroll chuck your jaws are numbered, and the number for this is right here in the casting. So what I've done is I've just taken a Sharpie and I've copied them over here, and when I get to a solid surface I'm going to take and I'm going to punch that in with my punch set so I know my number 1, 2, and 3, and it's going to be permanently marked again. So I'm just going to get set up here and find out where I'm at. One easy thing I can do is I said I had 600 or 699, so I can go 350, and I can look at the depth of my drill bit and see where it is, and I can adjust my table accordingly. So I'm going to get that set up, and we'll be back. We'll start drilling these. Of course, like I said, I'm going to start with this, I call it a countersink bit because it's made to countersink the heads of an Allen head bolt. So I'm going to start with that to center up my hole here in that, and then I'm going to continue drilling down through, and I'm just going to roll this around and hit the 3 positions real quick, and then we'll make our hardware fit and we'll continue. So we've got to do something a little different for the back 2 slots because these are 120 degrees. The rotary table has 4 of them, so they're at 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a T-slot nut in this one, and over here when I get things all set up I'm going to make sure I'm 100% zero. My rotary table is still zeroed out from the last video, and I'm going to actually drill into the top of the rotary table and do my 5/16 National Quarters thread there. So I'll get set up and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I'm going to come down with this countersink bit and thou thinner, it wouldn't even need to be done, but it does set me a good center line here. I've got a little start mark there with a smaller bit, and I'm just going to come up here and drill down through with my 5/16. So. This is going to make things really nice when it comes to using this rotary table now. I'm looking at an 8-inch 3-jaw chuck, so I'm hoping that I can just leave this 6-jaw on here almost permanently, and that'll make it real quick. Just set it up on the table here and do what I need to do, rather than every time you need it, take it out and then you spend an hour fooling around and getting your setup in. Bring the table up some to finish that hole out. Didn't need to come up much. Yeah, just needed that extra 1/8 of an inch. So, okay, I've got 2 more of those to do. I am going to do those off camera because it's just rinse and repeat. And then I'm going to get this T-slot nut in with the bolt. I'll finish the counter bore on this one. I'll get that T-slot nut in. I'm going to center this up, and then I'll look at drilling the table. So it sounds horrible, but it needs to be done, and I'm just going to make sure I do it right the first time. So here I am quoting Copper Machine Works. So we'll be back. Okay, so I'm just going to come down here. I've got my 5/16 hole, and we're going to use our quill DRO here. We'll call that 0. And I'm going to come down about 315 thousandths. There was 320, so. And like I said, I'm going to turn the head down on this to fit that diameter right there. So, of course, these are longer than what I need it, so I got to make a trip into the hardware store. So that's an hour away to get X-head bolts or Allen head bolts. So I'll get the 3 of these holes done, and then I'll bring you back once I got my hardware. So, see you in a bit. Before I move on to the next holes, what I've done here is I've just checked the mill in neutral. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure off of this flute right here to across here. Okay, then I get all my 3 holes, because all I'm going to do is loosen this off, twirl this around. I've got clearance down below, so I can drill to my heart's content here, get this done. So what I'm doing is I'm just touching off on that float. I'm coming in, I'm 1/80,000 of an inch below this surface. So at this point, just loosen that off. And I'm just going to adjust my y-axis here. I get my 80 thou. Excuse my head. Sure we're back in gear there. Don't need all them funny noises going on like that. Just splitting hairs there. Go down between the two of them. Walk the table off. Switch over and start drilling. I'm going to knock this out of the way because I don't want to be drilling into that. You know how it is, you get going and you, oh crap. Should have moved that. Too late. Well, just going to touch off on that. I said my last one was 350. And I'm right in there with this one. So this is just rinse and repeat. I'll finish this one up and move on to the last one, and then I'll bring you back when I've got the bolts turned down to go into this. So see you in a bit. So hopefully this is in focus. I'll hold my hand there. I turn the head of this bolt down so that it would fit into there no problem. So now I can mount that like that, And I'm going to get that mounted back up. What I wanted to do first is I wanted to make sure that everything is zeroed out, and I redid my centering on my table to make sure it was zero. And then I did an insanity check and I got my 10th indicator out, and it's looking good. It's all it's all within a couple tenths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the chuck mounted up here. I'm going to get one set in, and then I'm going to put jaws in, and I'm going to set my chuck up so that I can get it zeroed in and get it mounted down tight, and then we'll start setting the holes in the top of this rotary table. So, okay, now what I've got is I've got one bolt through here, and I've got these two to be drilled down into the actual table. And I've just taken my 1 thou indicator, and I've got a thou there, or actually 0. I come around to the side, I'm 0. Stay in 0, a little bit of wiggling and wobbling, but 0 and 0. Do a recheck here after tighten things down. One, 0 that way. Just torquing on the wrench was enough to pull it forward half a thou. But half a thou ain't very much. Okay. So I am going to get this changed over, get ready to drill these 2 back holes. I'm going to figure out how deep I want to do them there, because what I can do is I can just look at how far this here drops in, and then measure to the top of it. And I'll drill those. Then I got to take the chuck out of the way, get it tapped, check my center again, and get it all set up. Now I cannot take, where are they? Excuse me. I cannot take my chuck jaw and run it in here far enough to clear the access here. So what I've got to do is I'm going to check on the outside. Then I'm going to drill the holes, because I'll have a little bit of slop in the diameter of the hole so I can zero it out. But what I got to do is I got to make sure that when I put a piece of, like, I'll use one of my gauge pins, and I'll put it in here and I'll check the gauge pin and I'll check the outside, just so I know that my concentricity of this truck is okay, because I got to figure out how I can put this on, lock it in place, and have it accurate. So I'm in hole number 1 to my T slot at 0. So I'm going to try to remember that as a setup. I'll put it in my notes so I've got it when I'm using it. And so I'm going to get this indicator out of the way and get ready to drill some holes. So we'll be back. Okay, now I've taken a measurement from here down, and I've got 194, and that there would be over the top of the bolt itself. And I've actually got 250, so I've got about a little over half an inch. I want to go 5/8 thread depth because I don't want to be getting into any bottoming. And if I go here, 0.824 from the top of this to the base of the T slot. So I know I can go down 825, and what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to set it so I'm go down about 750. So if I set this and zero out my quill stop, and what I've done is I've just adjusted my rotary cable and my y-axis until this here, the hole that I drilled that with, the bit that I drilled that with, runs freely through it. So we've got the same center. So, oops, got to turn on the phase converter. There's my 0, and I'm going to come down 750. Now off camera, I did take the top of this, I took this rotary cable apart before just to make sure there was no hollows in there. And it's pretty concentric all the way around, so. There's my 5/8. And there's my 750. And you may be thinking, oh, I just drilled down through there with the thread size of 5/16. But what I want to do where this is cast iron, I've got stainless steel Healy coils that I'm going to be putting in this, and that'll give something that won't wear out or gall or strip or anything else. So that's why I started out with that and went right straight through. So now what I can do is I can just unlock my table. I am at 125, so I can go another 120 degrees. .245, and that there should be nice and free. So we're just going to rinse and repeat, and I'll bring you back after. Okay, we've got our second hole drilled, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break this down, and I think I've got to go to another 64s bigger, 21/64s is my drill size for my Healy coil insert. Another nice thing about a helicoil insert is I don't have the bottoming pad. And, excuse me here. A helicoil insert is only going to be that deep, so I don't have to get threads all the way to the bottom to put the helicoil in, and then my bolt can go right past it. And because it's a stainless steel thread, it's the strongest thread you get. Like, we actually put helicoils in a lot of aluminum engine cases that were taken apart a lot, so that's why I'm using that. And that is, I want to have a good quality thread that I don't need to worry about stripping out. I'll bring you back after I vacuum this out and get ready. Okay, so we're back with our 21/64 drill size for the helicoil. We'll go down through and clean that hole out. Give a little bit of oil for tapping. Just going to start that and I'm going to back it off. Show you guys something I got here. You notice when I was blowing this off with the other air hose, you're trying to get in there and the stuff's flying back at you? There's a little trick for your air hose. Hold that so it's quiet. If you take and put a piece of brake line on the end of it, now I can do that, and when I blow it doesn't blow up my wrist. It doesn't blow in my face. We've also got this one for smaller holes. They work great. You'll find that sometimes you're blowing out holes that are full of oil and you end up blowing it up your arm, or it's simple little hack like that. I've done it a couple different ones. Like I said, I got two different sizes, and I use these more than the straight ones, but irregardless. I'm just going to run this down, and again, make sure I'm nice clean threads all the way to the bottom. chamfer there. Quick blow out again. And your helicoil just goes on your tool. There's a couple different tools. Depends which one you get in your kit. Just gonna unlock that and roll it over here to get it out of the way of the drill truck. And what I do is, I just want to drop the end hang and right there it's just on the first thread, so give it another half turn and that puts the end hang underneath. Give just a little bit more. The end hang is underneath the edge of the thread. Now on these, that little tang that lined up with this, you have to break them off after. Just a little quick shard. And you can usually, I've seen it fly out of the hole. So, if you can't get them out of the hole, some of them are magnetic, most of them aren't because they're stainless, and that leaves a nice thread in there, and this here can go all the way to the bottom. Don't need to worry about a bottoming tap, and I don't need to worry about that thread pulling out. I did the other one off camera. I noticed my battery died, so I went in and got a fresh set of batteries. And the third one is a T-slot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do it now. And I did stamp my numbers like I said I was going to. And my number one is always going to be my T-nut. So. Now that leaves, I'm probably moving about 10 thou or so. I'm just going to snug these down a little bit. That way it's tight enough that I actually got to bump it. Zero out my DRO here. And we're going to have to drop her down and get a dial indicator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get dial indicator on here, and I am also going to get put these jaws back in. So my number one, that's going to go there. Okay, now just step back because I put the chuck on and I'm getting ready to zero everything in, and I'm hoping it's almost permanent when I do that. So zero there, excuse me, zero there, zero there, zero there. I touch my indicator just to make sure that there's pressure on it so that I'm not running something at the extent that it's out. So get that up out of the way. My DRO is zeroed. I moved the camera and got it more in my way, but I'm trying to keep my back out of your way. I went and replayed the last bit there, and I said, oh geez, wonderful, they got a shot of my back. Just what they want. So I apologize for that. I'll try to stay out of your way more. These Noga arms are great, because as you just seen there, it looked like I was out in the middle of nowhere, it's totally screwed up, and that arm found its way. So I got the zero there. I'm just going to hold that as I roll it past this. And I'm at 33 there. So, no, don't move the table. Re-zero this and see how close I can get. What do you know? That's right on there. And now I got 10 to go there. No, 10 to go this way. So I got a zero. plus 2. And when I say plus and minus, if I'm going to the end of the word Michitoyu, I call that, sorry for bumping the tripod, that's a plus 2 there. If I'm going, needle's going this way, it's plus. If it's going towards the beginning, it's minus. So I've got a plus 2 there. Got a minus 2 there, so there's a 0. Minus 3. And plus 3. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do it off camera, but I'm just going to throw the chuck off. I'm going to open these holes up just a little bit more to give me some wiggle room, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I got this clamped down fairly snug, and I've got 0 there, gently over the gaps, and I'm zeroed there, gentle over the gap, 0 there, and 0 there. So I'm going to lower it down. And find my tool here. Probably laying right in front of me.
Okay, we're back. I got number 1. Going to number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Now I wind these in 100%. Every time I take them out, I wind them in 100%, because if they don't meet in the middle, you did it wrong. So now is the time to find out, and we are good. So now I'm going to take my gauge pen and put it in there, snug it up, and I'm going to reconfigure. Drop the table down here. Try to stay out of everybody's way. You see what I say about these no arms? So my table was zeroed. I told you earlier that I had to drill out the bolt holes. What I did is I went up a 32nd, which is about 30 thousandths of an inch. So it won't give me 30 thousandths, but it'll give me half of that anyway. So I'm 0 there, I'm 0 there, I'm way out there. I got to lower my table. I want to get just the edge of this touching. I'm reading minus 10 there. It could be that I just got to. Sorry for getting in the way. Got a minus 2 there. A minus 3 there, so not too bad. On the back side here, I am at minus 7. Now one way I should be able to confirm this is right now I am at 47. Excuse me. I'm going to mark this down right here. And I'm at 0. Zoom you guys in here. Hopefully you can read that dial. Giving myself a sanity check here. 47 to 180 is 227. And 227 is rating 4th thou out. So I gotta go that way. Two thou. Zeroed. Take half of that, raise 0. I'm going to go back to my 227. This can be a sanity check because as soon as you start moving, it's not reading where it was. Yeah, that's still on 0. See, when I hit this, it doesn't just shift in X or Y. I'm just going to say, I'm 0 there. I should be 0 back here. And I am not, so that was just an insanity test. Zero on the front. Had to shift that about half a thou for a 0 and a 0. Minus 2. Excuse my head. Plus 3. Precision, right? Get a whack of a hammer.
Camera shut off, so I don't know what I lost. Reading just minus, half a thou plus, half a thou plus. Zero. Zero. Excuse my head, zero. Zero. Now, of course, saying the center's out a thou and a half, but so a minus one. So minus 1.5. So I'm zero there. And zero. So 1.5. And 1. This is a test of your insanity, folks. I'm reading 1.5 thou on a total rotation on a gauge pen. I have to put the same gauge pen in the lathe, but I can't put it in the lathe because the chuck is on this. And I think I've got it. So now the whole trick is I'm within 1.5 thou right there. I'm going to lengthen this out, try to get it lengthened out in a way that is not going to hit the I got zero there. Half a thou. One thou there. Zero. I got 2 thou there, but I think I left it too far. Just a minute. Let me hit zero again here. It's hard going over these gaps. So I've got it down to 2 thou total indicated reading. That means I've only got 1/1000th of an inch. And it's a test of my insanity. Gonna drive me crazy here, but I will work at this some more in the future. But as far as this video goes, I'm gonna say we've got our the first video, we got our center plug made so that we can tie something down in the center of this. We got it set up for our 4-jaw chuck. And we're also, now the second part, we're set up for a 3-jaw stroll chuck, so we should be able to hit within a thousandth of an inch right now. So I'm going to say we're done for this video. With this chuck on my lathe, I had 3 thou total indicated run out. So I'm a human hair away from being perfect, and my hair's gray. So y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. So thank you.